It's America's Life Coach. Fox Across America with Jimmy Fallon.
Oh, that is a true story. America's Life Coach Jimmy Fallon joining us now on the show, a woman who very well might be my life coach. She hails from the 3rd Congressional District of Florida. Representative Kat Cammack in the house. Hey, girl.
Hey, girl, hey.
Are you, would you sign up for that? Would you be my life coach? I don't think that's actually good for me.
I think I would need therapy if I were your life coach, Jimmy.
Because you want to know what it is, since we're talking coaching. Because we've talked a lot. We've hung out. I consider you actually a bad third base coach. What I mean by that is in baseball, those bad third base coaches always send the runner. You would be the life coach that's like, go for it. No, go, Jimmy. No, another keg? Absolutely. Have the keg. Go on TV. It'll be great, Jimmy.
Exactly. Well, and honestly, these days, you're on TV more than pretty much anybody I know. So I feel like, we got to protect the goods. I know that this is a face for radio, but apparently we got to be keeping you in tip-top shape. So I would never send you face first into home base.
Shots fired. Kat Cammack taking shots at the champ. Well, listen, I could have used you when I was in D.C. for the Correspondents' Dinner because they did. They put me on TV live on the red carpet but listen to me, after we had wrapped up a 4.5-hour open bar. But in my head, Kat Cammack, I knew the potential liability that was. So I actually, to my credit, I didn't drink before I went on the air. I was going to be that guy who just sinks his career that way. Like when I sink my career, Kat, I'm getting my money's worth. It's not going to be some throwaway 11:30 appearance where I curse on TV. You know what I mean?
No, it's got to be big, bold, beautiful.
Kat Cammack coming with her Trump impersonation in honor of Flag Day and, of course, the birthday of our 45th president, who is a pretty...
My husband in the Army.
Oh, is that true? So
Yeah.
So your husband has the same birthday as Donald Trump?
Yes. In fact, it was last year they celebrated their birthday together, and it was pretty awesome. Great times had by all, and they have a wonderful relationship. But it's also Flag Day, of course, so amazing. And it's the Army's birthday.
It sure is. No, the one thing about Kat Cammack on your show is she is a walking Snapple fun fact. Like, you're going to get trivia. Like, she'll come on,
off the top, baby.
She'll talk policy, slang a few jokes, and you'll win trivia night every time you hang out with Kat Cammack. Well, you bring up Trump. I think a lot of people could go for Trump gas prices right now. I always think of you and your Geo Metro, which only had like a 3-gallon tank. But you'd still be out. Let's be honest. That Geo Metro wasn't even a tank. It was a hamster under the hood that was running on a wheel. But it still cost you money to power up that hamster these days, Kat Cammack.
Yeah. But you know what? It did have amazing doors, right? It didn't have the right door handles that everybody sees and knows today. And it was a stick shift. I mean, it was kind of like the poor man's Back to the Future car, if I'm being honest. So don't hate me for my Geo Storm, my Geo Metro.
Yeah.
No, it was a Geo Storm.
Was it a storm? Well, I honestly, when it came to the Geos, I only think they made one, and they just changed the badges to make people feel like it was something.
I got the
else.
one. But yeah, to your point though, I mean, gosh, couldn't we all go for a mean tweet and $2 a gallon gas right now? This is insane. I passed by a gas station the other day in my hometown, and it was $5.19 a gallon. And just last night, the Democrats once again, they voted down the domestic energy independence bill that would have immediately brought down gas prices. That just goes to show how much the left hates America. Everything about America they just can't stand, so they've got to change it.
It's so true, and the people who get the bill, and literally the bill, are the American people. Let me run this by you. Okay, the way I understand it, is we're producing energy cleaner here in America than we are in the countries we import it from, which means we're polluting more by not producing it here because not only are they burning it filthier, but we have to use oil to get it here. We have to use fuel to bring it into our country. So aren't the environmentalists, by cutting production here, technically creating more pollution?
Now, Jimmy, no one said that these people on the left were bright. No one's saying that any of it makes any sense, because if anyone actually paid attention to the facts on the ground rather than the rhetoric, they would see exactly what you just laid out.
That's so true.
Being the green environmentalist today means you actually want more of a carbon footprint. Just look at the batteries in your Toyota Prius, right? It has a bigger carbon footprint. They're more worried about cows and cow farts and what that means for methane emissions than they are their own batteries in their little Priuses that they drive to their protests, where then they want to talk about how oil and gas companies are trying to actually, power our economy, because at the end of the day, everything runs off of fuel. We are an energy economy, but they just want us to be in La La Land with unicorns and fairy dust and, wind turbines and solar power. I am looking forward to the day when we can actually have an adult conversation about energy and why it is a national security concern. But until then, I guess we're going to be seeing the man in the White House going to Saudi Arabia and begging Tehran and Venezuela for oil because, that's a human rights thing? Oh, never mind. I'm sorry. We don't care about that now, right? Because it's all about green energy.
What a dumb time to be alive. We're talking to Representative Kat Cammack. Let me ask you this, Kat. Does he really go overseas, or do they just send him to Epcot and tell him he's overseas?
Oh, gosh. I think Disney could use the help after all the stupid things that they have done recently. I mean, you've heard me say it. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. Disney's kind of taking a hit here. Maybe they could use a boost. And with the security detail that Biden has to bring with him, I think that would be good economics for them.
Kat Cammack says Joe Biden's going to be riding Peter Pansexual at the new Disney. There's a headline.
Oh, Lord.
Well, listen.
No, I mean, honestly, you've done the drinking around the world. Don't lie. You've done that at Epcot.
Kat, I did it. And you know what's funny? I did the drinking around the world when I was in, elementary school. Because my parents took me in, 1984. You weren't even alive. And
I was born in 88.
I know. So think about that. So my parents took me, 1984. And I was, 6 years old. And whatever the heck I was born. Yeah. So I was, 6 years old. And but back then it was a different, I grew up in a house full of cops. When you were a little kid, when I was a kid, your dad gave you a sip of his beer, probably so you didn't like it and would wait later in life to start drinking. But that didn't always work out for some kids, Kat Cammack. Some of us drank that beer and were like, hey, this isn't bad. This isn't bad.
Oh, gosh. You were the guy who, when you couldn't get beer from Buddy's or anywhere else, you went and got O'Doul's because you liked the taste, right?
That's funny. O'Doul's for the people who don't want to get drunk but still like to pee. There it is. There it is. Well, we're talking about a different kind of beverage here. I don't even know if it falls under beverage status, but the baby formula issue, work with me here, okay?
Yeah.
This is bananas. I saw a White House press secretary 2 days ago ask for an update on the baby formula story and say she doesn't have one. Now, understand, if you're working on this, there's an update, but if for you to say, because the answer she gave was, well, no one's asked us that question in a few days, and no, we don't have any updates. Shouldn't there be updates regardless of whether or not someone has asked the question? That to me speaks to the fact that they're not really working that hard.
Oh, my gosh. Well, it also highlights the incompetence of this administration. Listen, I'll give you an update right now. Mm-hmm. The Biden FDA, they shut down the nation's largest manufacturer of baby formula with not a single ounce of planning or forethought about what that would mean. No plan to replace the 43% that particular manufacturer makes up in the marketplace. So we started hearing about the shortages back in February. Well, the FDA, they go in, they say, oh, we're going to do an investigation. The investigation says, oh, there's nothing wrong. There's no connection to tainted baby formula and what's in the plant. You guys just need to hold on. Hang tight. Well, months go by, still no production. Plant isn't back online. And so now today we have over 70% of shelves in America barren when it comes to baby formula. And it is because the Biden FDA is so incompetent that they shut it down, didn't have a plan. When they came through the investigation side of it and said, oh, there's nothing here, they still couldn't return phone calls or emails. So here we are. Now it is June. And that plant has just now started getting back up and running. They're going 24/7. I talked to one of their competitors. There's only 4 manufacturers in America, which that's a problem in itself, but that's for another day. You talk to them, they say, well, we've been running 24 hours a day. We're trying everything we can. How much do they make up? 9%. That's not going to cut it. So they should have an update. If I, as a member of Congress, am getting updates from these various manufacturers, why isn't the White House? It was, after all, their own FDA that shut everything down and caused this crisis. But I guess it's because, now there's men that are breastfeeding and men that are having their periods, which, oh, by the way, now there's a tampon shortage. It's like every time a man has gotten involved somehow in either women's sports or now men can get pregnant or now they have their periods, it all goes to crap.
Oh, it's so true. The only thing I would add to the men and women's sports thing is I'd support it if I could bet on it. but they're not letting me bet on it. You know what I mean?
I wonder why.
Exactly. Think about that. They don't let you bet on it because there is a physical advantage. But yet we have to sit here with a straight face and be like, no, it's all the same. I mean, there's never been a dumber time to be alive. It's fascinating to me.
Clown car.
Yeah, but your overarching takeaway in D.C. and the time you've spent there, you are, technically speaking, the youngest member of Congress, are you not?
Youngest Republican woman.
Oh, wow. That's fascinating. All right, I got to get my trivia right. But knowing that to be the case, you haven't spent your whole life there. But in the limited time you've spent there, are you a little bit surprised by the incompetence?
Yes and no.
Okay.
I mean, I think that, generally Americans, we all see Washington, D.C. as a dysfunctional, broken place that is filled with people who have a lot of self-serving agendas.
Yeah.
Now, having served up here, I see firsthand that it is a dysfunctional, broken place with a lot of people with self-serving agendas. But it gets worse. Half the people up here have the personality of a doorknob, so it can be quite dull.
Oh, man. Well, that explains all of your multimedia appearances, Ms. Cammack. I know there were some mentions of my visibility on the old television, but let's not act like we're talking to Cat Wallflower Cammack over here.
Listen, it is my job now to deflect and misdirect, right? That's what Washington does.
Good job. Way to pivot. Last question. I had put the screws to another Florida representative about this very issue I'm going to approach here with you. We were talking to Byron Donalds last week, and he loved Top Gun Maverick. Did you see Top Gun Maverick?
I have not seen it yet.
Oh, wow. You might have to check out Tom Cruise. The only problem with Top Gun Maverick, just so you understand, it's well done. But while you're watching it, you're going to see a trailer for Mission Impossible 7. And it bothers me because if they're on the 7th one, these missions clearly aren't impossible, Kat Cammack. Don't you think?
That is a good point. I actually watched an old Mission Impossible here recently.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, man, this is a great movie. But to your point, it can't be Mission Impossible 7 times over.
Mission really difficult, but with any luck. You know what I mean?
It's like the Fast and Furious franchise where they're on Fast and Furious number 17, right? It's just getting bad. So I think at some point you got to know when to quit and walk away. But since you did have Byron Donalds on there, and I can say this because he is my best friend in Congress, we like to cut up and give people a hard time. I am impressed that he has seen it because I don't know where he finds the time. I mean, I've been working my tail off. I don't know what he's doing if he's got time to go see it.
Donalds, stop buying fancy clothes and get to work. Wow, Kat Cammack did not show up to make friends. This was a steel cage match, but you have emerged victorious. Take the belt, get off the air while we're both still employed. You're the best, Kat.
Hey, always good to chat with you, Jimmy. It's always a pleasure.
All right, happy birthday to your husband. Send him my best. We'll talk soon.
All right, you too. Be good.
You, of course. There she goes, the great Kat Cammack.